Unos, unos, inglés. Dos y tres. Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome and good evening, and welcome to this inauguration ceremony of this seminar, Metaverse, New Frontier of Intellectual Property, Myth or Reality of the ASIPI, the Inter-American Intellectual Property Association. Now, the distinguished members of the Table of Honor, Enrique Amaral, President of the ASIPI, Alfredo Rendon, Director General, INPI, Vienna, Director of the seminar, Enrique Diaz, ASIPI President. We also want to thank for the presence, and we greet the representatives of the international representation and associations and the international organizations, Kirime Natsume, Subdirector General, OMP, and for Infrastructure and Platforms, Luis Enrique del Maral, President of the PPI, Jimena Castellanos, Representative of FIMPI. Government authorities, Alfredo Rendon, Director General, INPI, Mexican, representative of the Inter-American Associations, Fernando Tiana of the ACPI, Jose Juan Mendez, President of AMPI, Mexican Association for the Protection of Intellectual Property, and Juan Fermion Ortiz, PAPI, Paraguayan Association for Intellectual Property. We also welcome the ex-presidents of ASIPI, Martín Michaus, Elizabeth Simpson Domaral, Fernando Treana, María El Pilar Troncoso, and Mr. Juan Eduardo Banrel. We want to also thank the sponsor, media sponsors, and supporting organizations that are joining us in this event. Platinum is sponsored, Arian Fluxiv, Dariman Simpson, Guthrie Riquelme y Asociados, Palacio y Asociados, Golden sponsor BLP, Dumont, and Olivares. Silver sponsor Pedro González y Asociados, UTOF. Sports sponsor Ideas. And to media sponsors, SUR, Wall Intellectual Property Review, and Global IP Matrix, and Women's IP World. And to the local studio sponsors of Monday's Cocktail, Areas PLP, Ventos Munoz, and Praint. Femarca, Intellectual Property, Facio Cañas, Ideas, Eagle Print, Mora Martín, Nazar Abogados, Esfera Legal, Tactic, Estudio Legal, Searcher Ori Reven, attorneys. And at this moment, I will invite you to please stand, and we will hear the Costa Rica national anthem. And next, I will call the members of the Table of Honor for them to share a few words. The president of the sponsoring host committee, Maricruz Villanea. Good evening to everyone. And for Ticos, it's an honor to have you in our country. We're very happy that after 2 very difficult years for everyone, we're finally here. And without a doubt, it's a great achievement that fills us with trust and confidence to be able to continue with carrying out all the meetings of this association as were happening before the pandemic, 100% in person. I feel very proud in behalf of all the ticos because of all of your response, because we expected the attendance to this Congress. And I want to take this time to share something I learned about in these ASIPI meetings, thanks to a question I had. And the word was, the question was, where does pura vida come from? It's a term I grew up with I recognized as part of Ticos, but I had no idea where it came from. So I went to ask Mr. Google, and I was very surprised by the answer and a little disappointed, I must share. And what is coming, I'm sure our president will like very much. And I could be a victim of bullying for that. But it turns out that our famous pura vida phrase comes from a Mexican movie from 1955 starring actors El Clavillazo and Don Ramon. However, this expression is linked to in the world as part of Costa Rican's language, and it shows the way of Costa Rica to see the world. We use it in many different ways. For instance, ticos, we don't say, "How are you, friend?" We say, "Pura vida." Ticos, we don't tell someone that he's a good person. We say, "That person is pura vida." We don't even say we had a good day. We say it was pura vida. We don't say something is good. We say it's pura vida. Nor do we ask, how is it going? We say, is everything going pura vida? So with this little story, I want to wish you all a pura vida time and to have an excellent conference and enjoy our country. And thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much, Maricruz, for your words and for your kind welcome to your country. And next, we invite you to hear the message sent by Kirichino Natsume, General Director for WIPO for Structures and Platforms. Buenas, presidente de Propiedad Intelectual, o ASIPI.
Executive Committee working groups, and country delegates, distinguished members of the IP community in the Americas and the Caribbean. Buenas noches, un gran saludo desde Ginebra. It is my great pleasure and honor to say a few words to open this exciting and highly relevant seminar on the metaverse, the new frontier of intellectual property, myth or reality. First of all, on behalf of our Director General, Mr. Darren Tan, I'd like to thank ASIPI for inviting us to participate in this very important and interesting event. WIPO and ASIPI continue to enjoy a long and fruitful friendship that stretches back to ASIPI's founding in 1964. ASIPI is an important contributor to WIPO's work and a powerful advocate for IP rights across the region and around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the midst of fourth industrial revolution, which is rapidly transforming how we innovate, create, and how we do business. Never have our physical and digital worlds been more intertwined. The line between our social world and economic products and services is becoming increasingly blurred. The term metaverse was coined in the sci-fi novel Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson already back in 1992. In the area of frontier technologies that we are seeing emerging everywhere, it almost seems like the human creativity in science fiction and human inventions in real life are converging. Far from the world of fiction, economic realities are predicting the global metaverse market size to reach 427 billion US dollars by 2027 at a compound annual growth rate of 47% during the forecast period. From avatars to NFTs, from AI to augmented reality and beyond, all of these technologies are merging in the creation of the metaverse and posing real questions for IP. You don't have to look further than the recent disputes about Meta Birkin bags and Sunica NFTs to see some of the real-life impact. I'd like to thank ASIPI for organizing this very important and timely seminar. WIPO looks forward to further collaboration with ASIPI in the future. Let us work together to build a balanced, inclusive, and forward-looking IP ecosystem for the benefit of all. I wish you informative, fruitful, and inspiring discussions. Muchas gracias.
Very well. We thank Matsue for his message, and we want to send to WIPO its important support to our event and activities. Next, we will wait for some few words from Alfredo Rendon, INPI General Director, and we'll go on to the next presenter, who is Luis Enrique Garamaral, President of AIPPI. Thank you very much, Enrique, yes, for this invitation. It's an honor for AIPPI to be here to participate in this conference on Metaverse of ASIPI. I will change to English because I feel more comfortable, and also because my Portuñol is not going to be very nice to hear.
For the invitation, AIPPI is very proud to be partnering with ASIPI. AIPPI and ASIPI have developed over the years a very important partnership and collaboration. Recently, during this year, we had webinars co-organized by the two sister organizations. I was personally very honored when you came to Brussels last month for the AIPPI celebration of 125 years. It was a very important moment for the association, and ASIPI was there proactively, as we are here also very proactively, not only myself as president of AIPPI, but we have Anne-Marie, the Reporter General of AIPPI, and Ralph, that's the Deputy Reporter General. These are the two brains behind all the scientific work of AIPPI, and we decided to have a good delegation to participate and make sure that we continue to develop our programs together, and we are able, as two sister organizations with the main objectives, to promote and foster intellectual property and the protection, not only in Latin America, but throughout the world. ASIPI has become a very prominent organization throughout the world. Many international associations and international organizations rely on ASIPI for support, for education, and undoubtedly this is a great opportunity to continue with this program. The discussion of metaverse and virtual reality is going to be on the agenda throughout the next years for all the organizations. There is a lot of challenge in the protection of intellectual property in metaverse, not only in terms of patent protection, but especially trademarks and copyrights will be challenged, and the limits of intellectual property will be discussed and will probably have to be reviewed. We, in APPI, certainly this is a topic that it's becoming very important, and we have certainly our study questions in the next years will be addressing this issue as well. I would like also to invite all of you to become members of APPI and come to our Congress in September in San Francisco, where many of those issues will be certainly treated, and we'll have a chance to promote even more this relationship between ASIPI and APPI. I wish you all a great event. I'm sure that the discussions will be very important and will bring an in-depth reflection and discussions. And I will certainly be seeing all of you throughout the conference. And Enrique, again, thanks. And I wish you all a great conference.
Muchas gracias, Luis, por tus palabras.
Thank you very much.
With the APPI and the presence of the delegation in our seminar. Bueno, ahora le vamos a...
And now we'll give the floor to Rendon, Attorney Rendon. He's the General Director of INPI Mexico. Good evening to everyone. Thank you, ASIPI, for this invitation. This is the second time I attend, and in fact, I feel very comfortable with you. This organization, all know I'm not formally part of it. I feel part of you. It's very friendly, and especially technically, it uses avant-garde topics that affects all of us. And last time, many things were clear of what's happening with the Madrid Protocol in Mexico after listening to you. And I do want to apologize for the delay, but Enrique, or who organizes the event, always chooses very interesting locations. And it's a paradise, but it's a little complicated to get there. But this topic you bring as a spearhead or discussion point for this event has surprised us all. Everyone speaks about it, but specifically no one has a clear idea of how it's going to affect the industrial property system and what will happen with this. So once again, it's an honor, and I thank Enrique and the Steering Committee, WIPI, for being here and being able to learn. As we said, if the attorneys and authorities work together, I'm sure we'll have a better industrial property system. So once again, thank you very much. And we have the pleasure now to inaugurate our seminar in the World Environment Day. This is held every June 5th since 1973, and it's led by the United Nations Program for the Environment. And every year, it's sponsored by a different country. And this year, the organizer is Sweden. The president of Diversity Sustainability, Diana Redondo, and the president of the Social Action Committee, Aurelio Sonsines, have prepared a video for the World Environment Day. June 5th, we celebrate the World Environment Day, and June 8th, we'll be celebrating the World Ocean Day. As the president of the Social Action Committee, I'm very happy to start this ASIPI seminar in Costa Rica in such an important date for our planet. The Social Action Committee and the Diversity and Sustainability Committee have been planning actions related to these topics since it's our our work to be part of these changes and call the attention from the importance of taking care for the environment and societies that are affected. We must contribute and influence to reduce waste, to recycle, to make less contaminating decisions, to preserve the environment is a commitment for the future. To take care of nature is everyone's responsibility. And hello, my name is Diana Redondo. I'm sorry for not being with you today in person. However, as a president of the Diversity, Inclusion, and Sustainability Committee, I didn't want to let go of the opportunity to mention the coincidence that the day that ASIPI's conference starts, we celebrate the Protection to the Environment Day. As Andrea said, we together with the Social Action Committee are working with different initiatives and projects that will help us to promote protecting the environment and its awareness to really achieve a change in all the damage we have caused. We all have to act. For this reason, we invite all the participants of this Congress to commit with specific initiatives from your own offices or companies that will really achieve a change. This can be the use of renewable energies, reducing damaging material, reforestation, minimum use of paper, among many others. And next, we'll leave you with a video created by UN that celebrates the 50th anniversary of the Protection for the Environment and refers more to this.
Unlike anything the world has ever seen.
We need to take action.
Everyone has to stand up.
The warning is not a new one.
Our world faces a triple planetary crisis of climate change, natural loss, and pollution.
For generations, humanity, often without realizing it, has been destroying the natural world. In the name of progress, we have polluted the Earth's oceans, chopped down its forests, and clouded its skies. Today, nature and our own survival rest on a knife's edge.
It's time to ratchet up the action that we need to have at the country level.
The United Nations Environment Programme was established with one goal in mind: to unite the world in saving our planet.
It is clear that the environmental crisis which is confronting the world will profoundly alter the future destiny of our planet.
For 5 decades, UNEP has used science and its mandate to bring the world together to help nations find solutions to grave environmental threats.
¿Cómo mejoraría el metaverso a la sostenibilidad?
How can metaverse help the environmental sustainability? Metaverse can simulate how to make the air conditioning distribution to be more energy efficient and intelligent and intelligibilities, as well as where to place solar panels to maximize the exposure to light, or how to redesign a building for better to cool in summer to reduce the use of air conditioning. On the other hand, we can use augmented reality and virtual reality in sectors of education, entertainment, and construction, promoting the conservation and reducing ecological degradation. However, the data centers necessary to execute this in metaverse is not cheap because of the energy consumption. It's calculated that we needed a power increase of 1,000 times more on the collective IT capacity to feed metaverse. This unfortunately can increase even more its carbon footprint in the planet, but if it's used in a moderated way, it could generate a positive change.
We'd like to thank the committees of diversity and social initiative for this initiative to generate awareness about protecting our ecosystems and promoting respect for the environment. To finish, I would like to give the floor to our chair of ASIPI, Enrique Diaz. Thank you very much, Matias. Before anything else, I would like to start by thanking Luis Enrique Dumaral for being with us, a friend of ASIPI and a personal friend. Thank you very much. Alfredo Rendon, Director General of MP, who has not just been an authority that is committed to intellectual property, industrial property, but especially he is an authority that is part of us. As he said, he is a friend of our association, and for me it is a privilege that through all this time that I have been the president, so far he has been with us, and we hope that he's going to be the first of the directors that doesn't miss any event. So thank you very much. On the other hand, I would like to thank the Costa Rican group, the TICOS, for the effort that they have done. Maricruz, thank you very much for all your effort, and especially for this love that you have put into doing this to make sure that everybody is working hand in hand to show what we are. You are a great country, you are a great culture, and for us it's an honor to be here with us, with you. The only concern I have is that I didn't want to start like this, but since the issue of copyrights comes from Mexico and the time has not gone by enough, I don't know if this could open a debate or a controversy, but we will see what happens after this event. Maybe the Ticos will be mad with you because you lost Pura Vida in favor of Costa Ricans. Dear partners, members of the Executive Committee, former presidents, honor presidents, members of the directives and sister organizations, local organizations, government authorities, friends, dear all, good evening. We have chosen this beautiful place to meet again 100% face-to-face. It is true that coronavirus gave us a huge psychological effect. Its health, economic, and social consequences have generated feelings of anguish, fear, and emotional hit during this year. But in ASIPI, we have been implementing some antidotes against these evils, the ones that characterize us: union, friendship, information, knowledge, laughter, and even physical exercise at a distance. Now we are celebrating meeting again our group of friends that stood up, helped others, attended virtual meetings, registered in our webinar, supported entrepreneurs, and attended all kinds of meetings organized by ASIPI to get full of energy, positive energy. And after 2 years, we can say that we are strengthened because we have learned many things. We are stronger and we are better informed to prevent and face the problems of the future, but in particular to face new challenges and anticipate the changes. And talking about the future, what would be better than starting the new ASIPI era than talking about metaverse? When we talk about metaverse, it is an issue that is a topic that is important for me to point out that all of you are here to learn, but the one that is most interested in metaverse is myself. When we were in Punta Cana and we were talking about the topic and what was going to be the academic program for Costa Rica, suddenly Ricky stood up and then he sat with Michael and they started talking about metaverse and metaverse and metaverse. And as I said at the beginning, we all heard the word metaverse. We have our experts in metaverse, but many of us don't really have an idea of what the metaverse is. So we thought that it was a good way to start this activity, understanding what metaverse is from a technical perspective, from a technological perspective, but also from the legal perspective. And you will find the different concepts, and we talk about the virtual reality, which we don't know if it exists or not, if it is regulated or not, or with this famous word that everybody talks about, which is the metalog. The metaverse word is an acronym composed by meta, which comes from the Greek that means after or beyond, while verso refers to universe. So we are talking about a universe that is beyond the one that we currently know, or what we call parallel reality. The metaverse is a virtual world that we have created, invented, to which we will be connected using a series of devices that make us really think that we are within an autonomous and independent world, interacting with all and each of its elements. The reality is that when you start learning about metaverse and you start introducing in it and participating in it personally, I don't love it, but it is part of. It is something that we have be in, and it's something we have to know. But especially as professionals, technically speaking, we have to be at the vanguard or up to date. Otherwise, we will be falling behind and will not be able to advise our customers. The experience of the metaverse is like teletransporting to a completely new world using virtual reality or lenses and other components that would allow us to interact with it. Precisely, the metaverse is not a fantasy world. It is not a classic avatar like the movie. It is a kind of alternative reality where we can do the same things that we do today outside our home, but without leaving our room. So if this is so, intellectual property has the same place in the real world, and our professionals in IP have to be there with answers to the questions that arise. So we have to know the field where we are moving in order to advise our customers in a clear and certain way. We have to be capable of monetizing the intangibles in this new reality, because so far everybody is monetized, the whole world is monetized, and we have to be there. Welcome to this seminar where we'll be discussing topics such as the metaverse. Is it relevant for intellectual property? In NFT and metaverse, the expansion of traditional trademarks in the metaverse, consumer and metaverse, challenges of another reality. And as ASIPI, we are working for all of our members and our association to be at the vanguard, always trying to monetize in favor of our associations, our association, and demonstrating intellectual property has to be the driver, our countries and communities, because this is the way we will have a greater social and economic impact on everyone's well-being. And for you to see that I don't want to be the last, I am going to allow Ricky Fisher to say something so we can start talking about metaverse. But before that, I would like to give you, Rick is going to talk to you, and he's going to give you the technical and historical introduction about the metaverse. But we have to take advantage to show a video that has a brief welcome as a sample of the work that we did in the first 6 months, but especially shows the dynamism that today characterizes our beloved association. Dear friends of ASIPI, it is for me an honor to welcome you all warmly to Costa Rica. The generosity, innovation, and technology. A country that is the heart of Americas opens its door to welcome us to the wonderful world of metaverse. We open our seminar with a great deal of enthusiasm and the conviction that the next 2 days we will be sharing a unique experience that will show to all of us that what was fiction a few years ago is a reality today. We will go back to coming to be face-to-face, and we hope to continue like this to feed in the ASIPI's DNA, which is unique. We have prepared for you an academic program that will deal the conceptual basis and fundamentals of metaverse, such as well as the challenges in the field of intellectual property and other areas. I am talking about metaverse that will be experienced in real time by all of our attendees, who will have the opportunity to enter this new world, which is unknown to many, and understand even better what our panelists will be sharing with you during this seminar. We cannot talk about metaverse without living it. Our program will also include social media access that will allow us to tighten our personal professional relationships. We are here all invited to the traditional party. It will be a Tika night with the pura vida that characterizes our host will help us feel at home. We will also have sports activities in our ASIPI field program. On Monday, we will have the second edition, our 5-kilometer race that this year will use what has been collected to buy school supplies for our local school. And on Tuesday, we'll have a yoga session committed with society and sustainability, in particular with the care for the environment. Costa Rica will witness, on the one hand, the beginning of our campaign, One Backpack, One Opportunity, promoted by the Social Activity Committee, that has the purpose of collecting backpacks to be donated to low-income children. And on the other hand, the recycling campaign that we will be promoting in each of our face-to-face activities. Living by example is important. Our seminar will conclude on Tuesday in hoping that we will meet again at the end of the year in the Merida city, which is wonderful. And remember, good times, but especially to continue growing and strengthening each other academically. Although time has been short, we have been working hard and passionately. We are very pleased with the great work that we have done in the first 6 months by each and every one of you, hoping that every day our passion and love that we have for ASIPI will move us forward to continue planting in favor of intellectual property and our association. Now we will explain the actions, progress, and achievements that we have obtained during these 6 months. In ASIPI, we continue the movement. In this 2022, we have important projects and initiatives that we will make a reality. We take advantage to invite you to the 22nd work sessions that will take place from the 4th to the 7th of December in Colombia. We will hope you attend our next sessions to share with you the Antiochian passion and our Colombian friends. Do not be outside of this historical event. Reserve as soon as possible because space is limited. We hope you will attend. Undoubtedly, when we watch this video, our skin crawls because only in just 6 months this reflects a great deal of work, but not the work of one, but the work of many people and many of you. I would like to publicly thank the work done by our executive director, Julie Gutierrez, who has devoted her body and soul to this position, helping us for the association to be moving forward faster and better. I also would like to take this opportunity to thank the work by Marcela, Claudia, Sua, Natalia, Victoria, Pablo, Santiago, the people of IT that are helping us, technology that help us because they have helped us grow and we have been able to improve. Yesterday, Fernanda Triana asked me if 2 years would be enough. And my answer, I think, was a little bit egotistic, and I said it's going to be more than necessary. But the truth is that I think that we will have more than necessary because never before have we had such a capable and committed team that we had today. ASIPI is more and better today and is stronger than ever. And undoubtedly, we will continue working for this to be one of the best, if not the best, association of intellectual property of the world. With this, I say goodbye to you, but before giving the floor to Ricky Fisher so he can help us and give us some information about the metaverse, I would like to finish saying with a Mexican phrase, pura vida. Thank you, Enrico, Mr. Rendon, and Luis, Maria Cruz. It's a pleasure to be here. Before anything else, good evening, everybody. I have to tell you that despite how wonderful the metaverse is, being here, sharing face-to-face with all of you, among of us who are attending this seminar, is even more fascinating. Special thanks to the Costa Rican team, wonderful for hosting this wonderful event in this wonderful country, beautiful country. Costa Rica is pura vida, but much more. More than its beautiful landscape and forest and beaches, Costa Rica has positioned itself as a country that is apt to be a hub of innovation and development in the Americas. I couldn't imagine a better venue for this event. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. As attorneys and experts in intellectual property, we have had a position of honor. We have been protagonists of great events and technological events that have been the driver of a particular revolution, a specific revolution, the revolution of the internet, in the same caliber as the one of the telegraph and the telephone, radio, and even the printing machines. A revolution, as Professor Manuel de Santos says, left changes at an arithmetical level for an exponential pace that decentralizes informatics system hand in hand with the apparition of new hardware, software, mobile telephones, smart telephones, and mechanisms of connectivity. Within the internet revolution, we can identify three phases or periods. The first one, called Web 1, the internet of the 20th century, in which the user's experience was based on a static model where the user only has the skill or the opportunity of reading or consuming content, the read-only mode. We see the beginning of e-commerce and access to online information with a decentralized architecture with limited interaction. With the beginning of the 21st century, we had Web 2.0, which provided a model that allowed to have higher interactivity with the users. Not just the ability to read content, but also to write it, to produce it, a read and write model, and the web as a platform and a vehicle for collective intelligence. This Web 2 module comes hand in hand with an explosion of blogs, social media, and sites to share videos and images. It helped with the upcoming of mobile phones and smartphones. The main elements of Web 2 was the generation of content by users and its remix with an architecture of involvement that was centralized in large internet platforms. Currently, and in part as a response to the centralized model of Web 2, we are living through Web 3, in which data is connected to in a decentralized ecosystem. The user function activates not just in the modality of reading and writing, but also of participating and being owner of its content, a phase that not only allows users to own their data or content, but also enables them to be compensated for the time that they invest in the network. This web is especially driven by technology of blockchain technology. It's the web of the NFTs or non-fungible tokens, and that's those or decentralized autonomous organizations through which users can participate in activities and decisions in an ecosystem without any kind of interference through a decentralized model based on blockchain. The DAOs are associations de facto without a central control organism with participation instead of actions represented in tokens of governability. In other words, we are at the doors of that deep fundamental change in the organization and architecture of the internet with legal, social, and economic consequences that will be transcendental. Regarding decentralized finance, we have seen how Bitcoin based on a blockchain platform can be used even partially or as an alternative to the fiat currency, the traditional currency issued by governments and whose value is related with the state of offer and supply and the government stability of the government that issues it. Those that support cryptocurrencies see it as a financial system that is more transparent, truthful, and traditional to the fiat, which they say it can be manipulated by centralized financial entities. In response, several cryptocurrency communities have developed blockchain protocols that allow the transaction of securities among users without intermediation. There is an open debate, in particular because of the experience in the behavior of cryptocurrency and the control about activities that are considered illicit and their volatility, as you have seen recently. But definitely, a new scheme is being opened in the financial field of the web. Now, under the same principle of the DeFi, there are those who estimate that we are at the beginning of a decentralized IP or DIP, on which, under the same premise, the intellectual property rights are made up and executed under an autonomous mechanism. For instance, in an NFT, as an alternative to the rights that are traditionally managed with in front of a centralized regulator. So as an example, instead of protecting a work through the traditional copyright work in a public office, the rights of an NFT are established in a smart contract, including the rights of creation, ownership, sale, transfer, term of protection, and royalties, right to royalties in sales, among others. This reflects the axiom that code is norm. In other words, what has been codified in the NFT regulates the relationship of the rights among the parties involved, and the enforcement of these rights takes place automatically based on what has been programmed in the NFT authenticated by blockchain. We are already facing a trend to a tokenization, a general tokenization of assets, including those of the intellectual property, that is going to bring about the creation of alternative rights, sui generis, to the intellectual property rights that are traditional, in which the creators will have a more direct control without the need of intermediaries for its birth, commercialization, and relevance and effectiveness. In the next 2 days, you will listen experts who are leaders on these topics. We have combined speakers from different specialized law offices, law firms, university professors, attorneys of companies that are going to contribute to form the future of Metaverse and Web3, of the main sports leagues of the world and companies that are at the vanguard in the development of the Metaverse and of the tokenization of assets in a traditional way. In the same way, among speakers, we will listen to one that is very special, a young artist that represents the best of the youth and of the Latin American women. The first crypto artist of Colombia, civil engineer as a profession, but artist by vocation, whose work have already been in space with Jeff Bezos. They have been exhibited or will be exhibited soon in Times Square. She was a representative of her country exhibiting her NFTs in the Colombia pavilion in Expo Dubai 2020. And he even gave an NFT to President Ivan Duque from Colombia, specially designed for him. With her hand on Tuesday, we will see live the design process, creation and commercialization process of an NFT and what this means for an artist's rights. I would like to welcome you warmly to our speakers, especially Zoe Fina, the first crypto artist of Colombia who is here with us today.
Without forgetting the topic, which brings us together, and the title of the seminar, I didn't want to leave highlighting one of the main virtues that could wait for us in Web3. It's immersive experience, leaving aside plane 2D to go to new plane fostered by augmented reality and virtual reality, the metaverse. Instead of words, hopefully I prefer to sacrifice here Enrique and for him to get on that structure that you might all be asking yourselves what that is, and to see what is immersion in internet. Did you sign the waiver, Enrique? Please, go ahead. As you can see, this is the entrance to Metaverse, these visors. So take over treasurer in case the president was a charismatic one in the association. That's not Enrique. Are you doing good, Enrique? Are you nervous? No, not at all. And if I was nervous, I wouldn't tell you, so don't worry about it. I just want to clarify that in the test, I didn't have the part that had to be a clonus. Let's see where I'm taking. We'll try to take it, and I'll try to convey what I feel and what I experiment. I think we're all ready. Every weights, balances, everything. Can you see my hand and everything? Yes, we can see your hand. No, we still cannot see that. There we go. I wonder if we can turn off the lights. As you can see, I'm taking. The only problem is I've never seen the face of who's taking me. I can only see his hand. It's beautiful. And I want to clarify that these are Costa Rican Tica beaches. Yeah, all I can see, that's all I can see. From the top, you can see the mountains, the trees. The problem is I always feel I'm going down, and I turn and look, and he brings me up again. So he's going to bring me up a bit. Now I'm to the one side. There was a bird flying by very close. Careful, Enrique, you're very close to the trees. I just told him. And by the way, whoever wants to go and do this, in reality, it's about 10 minutes away from here. It's a very sunny day, like the days we have had. Rain is gone. And we're threatened with daily storms, and we've been very lucky, and we had the opportunity to film this to present this live action. For me, it's the first time I see his shirt. I'm about to see his face. Now I can see my feet. I can see like two feet. And I'm going right by the apartments, but because of privacy matters, I cannot tell you what's going on, what I can see. And this is where we can see the sand, and I have to start moving my feet, and it's turning right now, and we're about to land. I think it's all coordinated, so I turn. He says everything is fine, to relax, and that he'll make sure I'm safe and sound and happy landing. Very well. Now I saw his face. He did exist. So that was a good landing. Hey, Kike, are you back? Are you okay? Are you good? Yes, I'm perfect. Let's wait for him to get out this harness, and I'm finished. You look like Rambo, Kike. You look very Rambo-like. I think I grew out of this experience. After this ride with Kike in this parallel world, we officially welcome you to the metaverse. Everyone will have the opportunity to enjoy of this and other immersive experiences in the following 2 days. We'll make available to you several of these visors for you to explore metaverse. And thank you very much to everyone for being here. We'll be together physically in beautiful Costa Rica and in the world of metaverse in several alternative realities. And enjoy the seminar and pura vida. Thank you. Truth is that Ricky left a great organization. Thank you, Ricky, for this effort. And to finalize, we invite you all to the cocktail in the carport right behind this, where we hope to have real drinks and food, not virtual. And as I said before, we'll see you at 7 a.m. and the walk run to benefit local schools for school supplies benefit. And I hope you all join us. And at 9 a.m. sharp, we start with the first panel of the day, which is Introduction to Metaverse. What is a metaverse? Interacting with virtual reality. So it's actually 6:45 for those who want to participate in this walk, this race. You have to enroll. You have to pay $25 that will then donate. So it's important to be on time because we will start on time. And this first panel is important because we have two expert panelists in Metaverse ticos who are in this business who will explain, and that will be a starting point to better understand the following panels that will be more advanced. So we ask you to please be here on time and enjoy the seminar very much. It's going to be spectacular. Pura vida, and thank you very much. And sorry. And there's a short video from Costa Rica. And after that, we go to the cocktail and eat. And now we can go and enjoy. Thank you very much.
Pieces of my heart, like windows in the dark, looking out for something that's missing.